Hello, welcome to Intuitive Insights. I am your no BS woo woo coach, Meghan McDonough. This podcast is to hopefully inspire you with intuitive tools, inspiring stories, inspiring conversations, and to help your creative soul. So that's what I'm here for. This week, every other week, I come to you with personal insights or through into my personal intuition, through intuition with others and in sessions, and then tools that you can use, or just straight up reflections that I feel like might be useful in this brain space. So today, I have a couple of things that I want to share. And this is a discernment issue and a how-to thing. And it has to deal with something I have been saying lately. It's something that I believe to be true and still working on putting into 100% effect. But that is the idea of trust and intuition. Intuition is part of, so let me back it up. In my perspective, we are both physical entities and energetic entities. Our brain is an extension, obviously, of the physical, and our heart, our soul, is an extension of the energetic. Intuition is connected to the energetic as its navigation system. The nervous system and the brain are the navigation system for the physical. Right? So that's how I look at it. So in the physical world, and the idea of most religions and like philosophy, yogic theory is how to integrate the two with the three. I guess the three would be spirit, would be source, would be God, whatever you want to call it. So it's the physical or the masculine, the feminine or the energetic, and then the infinite or the spiritual, the godlike self, the universe, whatever your word of choice is for that. That the physical world thrives on and loves specificity. It loves direction. It loves specificity. The energetic world loves trust and faith. And because what we experience for the most part, and what we're trained to experience for the most part, is the physical world, we take in everything through our senses, and therefore we deduct that it is reality, it is true, through our filtered perceptions and stories we built up in our mind, right? Of what something is or what quality it has or anything. But the energetic world is the root, because the energetic world, the soul-based world, is infinite. It's more a piece of that infinite, godlike, universal energy. Our physical structure is a transient home for that part of ourselves. So chicken or the egg, it is intuition. I'm not sure if that makes sense. I don't think that analogy worked there, but you know what I'm saying. What came first? It was intuition or source. But because we're so engrossed in the physical world, we assume that the physical in the physical world is primary. And so how we go about achieving our goals in life is very specific and driven. But that doesn't always work with energetic things. And if the energetics underneath the physical actions that we take in our world aren't aligned, then it feels like we get nowhere. So energetic alignment first, but the point, which is intuition loves trust. So how do you trust? And this is something that's been coming up for me a lot personally, and then I'm also kind of aware of it environmentally and with others, is this idea of trust. How do we trust? Part of trusting is failing. And when we're kids, we fall and it hurts and we cry and then we get back up again. And so when we fall again, we don't cry as much because we know what happened. It's not death. It's just a fall, and we trust that we're going to be okay because we've had that experience of being okay after we fell, even though there's still always a little bit of uncertainty whenever you get injured, right? So here are a couple things that I'm noticing. One, we are overinformed. What does information do? It helps discern and specify the world around us. But that specification is a brain-centered thing, a physical form-centered thing. And that pulls more the focus there. And so we start trusting all these different sources of stimuli with information, and they're not always accurate, and they're not always unbiased. I mean, when was the last time you watched the news and felt like it was just like a clean, unbiased presentation of the facts? It's really hard to do that anymore because everything has become a form of entertainment. Everything has become a ratings game. You know, I mean, even to the sports, like when I see, not that I'm a big sports watcher, but when I see people interviewing the players like mid game, I'm like, to me, I'm like, get away from them. Like they're at work. That's like somebody. I mean, can you imagine if you were at work and you were like in between meetings on the way to the bathroom and somebody was like, how did that meeting go? What do you think about it? You know, and you're just like, I don't know. Like, but they have to answer because it's in their contract because it's entertainment. It's not just sports, it's entertainment. So everything has a preconceived filter on it, a bias. And we're getting a lot of information filtered through a lot of bias. And then you add in algorithms, and now you've got a lot of information and a lot of bias that is geared towards the silo of your information and your bias. And then someone else is getting a different siloed information filled with a different bias. And you have a certain set of facts and they have a certain set of facts, and they're not the same facts. They're not the same perspective on the facts. And so now you're automatically distrusting your facts or their facts or them. And then that leads to anxiety. And anxiety disrupts the nervous system, disrupts the brain, ignites the brain, right? The intuition is quiet. Intuition is still. It can be persistent, and that persistence can feel loud, but it's rarely ever obnoxious or loud. Intuition doesn't anxiety. Intuition is devout from fear and emotion. It is just calm information without bias. There's no bias in the truth of intuition. There's no anxiety in the truth of intuition. But it's not something we're trained to pay attention to. As a matter of fact, it's something we're trained not to pay attention to. It's something that if we talk about or we express or follow or what have you, and here's the irony, we're looked at as crazy. But the people who trust and follow it religiously and things work out for them, man, they're in envy of them and you want to know what's up, right? You know, and they just radiate, they just magnetize because they're aligned with the truth. They're aligned with the calm. Anxiety is outward seeking and it's hungry. It needs to be fed. It's like an addiction. And in these information silos that we find ourselves in, and I'm including myself, this is an observation I've had of myself in our current temperature societally. But you start to crave, it's insatiable anxiety because it's not rooted in anything real. And it's always looking for the justification to feed itself that it'll never find because, again, it's not rooted in anything. And the one thing that will disrupt it is intuition, anchoring into the intuition. But the problem becomes, how do we trust our intuition? Because we're not trained to. It's not fostered in society yet. I feel like we're getting there. So how do you do it? As an actor, as a former improviser, not very good improviser, I did love it. But I was not very good at it. Anyway, and if you've ever taken an improv class, and if you know anything about improv at all, there is the basis of all improv scenes, which is yes and. So if you come into a scene and someone says, I love your beautiful blue hair, and you say, it's not blue, where do you go with that? Where does that scene go? I mean, it can go somewhere, but it takes a lot of maneuvering to get there, right? So if you come into a scene and say, I love your beautiful blue hair, and then the other person says, yes, I love it too, and your coat of minks is exquisite. I mean, this is honestly, I'm writing the worst. See, I told you I was bad at improv. But the point is that now we have a connection and we have something to build on. I think of this a lot when people are wondering and questioning when we're talking about how to trust your intuition, because our defense mechanisms will come up and you'll feel something and you'll intuitively know that it's correct and it's real and it's true because it resonates and it doesn't cause anxiety. But then because it doesn't do that and you're used to the insatiable hunger of your anxiety, you're like, well, that can't be right. Somebody fix this. Somebody, your protector selves come in and they start to kind of convince you you're wrong. This can't be true. It's too simple. You know what I mean? So, how I explain it, and this is my offering for today, is that trusting your intuition is like the best yes and exercise. So, and this is how you can do it. If someone pops in your head who you haven't seen or heard from in a long time, the quickest thing you can do to let the universe, let your intuition know, like, hey, I hear you, I got you, we're in conversation, but let's connect because I know you got the keys to the whole universe here, right? And you're going to help me move forward with my life, whatever. So you yes and the universe by reaching out to that person, saying hi. You popped into my mind. I just want to say hi. Hope you're doing well. I miss you. Whatever, right? I can't tell you how many times, because I firmly believe we're all intuitive. We all have that capacity of communication. I would say it's a form of telepathy. I really would. It's an aspect of it. How many times I've heard people say, it popped into my mind, and then, they called someone and then that person, it turned their day around, or it stopped them from doing something harmful, or it gave them permission to do the thing they needed, or get the confidence to move forward with the thing they needed to do. Whatever it may be. But the reason they pop into your head is for a reason. So if someone pops into your head that's kind of like where'd that come from? That's the universe. That's your intuition saying, connect. So how you yes and it is you go, yes, I hear that. And I'm going to connect with that person. I'm going to reach out. Okay. That's one step. Another thing you can do, if this is not like a person popping into your head and you get a visual or you hear something, and this is for you, and you know that it's a message for you, and you're like, where is that coming from? Why am I seeing that now? It doesn't feel like you initiated the thought or the image. And we've all had that, right? It's almost like a dream during the day where you're like, I didn't choose to think of that. It just came to me. So how you can yes and that is you say, yes, I recognize. No, I'm not saying you do this out loud because then people really will think you're crazy. But like in your head, confirm it, yes, and clarify. Ask in your head, what does this mean? What is this telling me? And if it doesn't respond, because the visual will shift to communicate with you, you can continue to ask for clarification. Yes, no questions till you get what the answer is. I mean, that's super general, and it probably takes a more specific situation to dial this in a bit. But the idea is to initially trust whatever comes to you and not dismiss, and then clarify. The hardest part becomes taking action once you have discerned what the message is. It's not entirely true. That's a hard part, but it's just as hard to discern out the gate in the beginning, intuition versus instinct, which I do have a episode on that I spoke about. So instinct is that thing that keeps us, they're similar, but they're different. Instinct is of the physical body. It's the intuition of the physical body to keep the physical body alive, and therefore it responds to a threat. It is based in some sort of fear that is ignited through intuition, but it is a fear and therefore not intuition. Make sense? Intuition does not have any fear attached. Intuition is out of the energy of love, connection, harmony. Fear has the sub-frequencies or frequencies of anxiety, jealousy, anger, suffering, pain. That's not intuition. That's either instinct or imagination or anxiety. So this week, I'm going to offer a couple things. One, intuition is quiet. And our worlds are energetically noisy and chaotic, filled with static, extra stuff that's not necessary, right? So slow down your life. Edit it to the point of a slower, calmer frequency energetically for yourself so that you can hear more, notice more, expand your awareness and curiosity. Breathe deeper. From there, like a science experiment, notice what comes up. And if something comes up unprompted that you know you did not create or initiate, trust it. Trust it. Be grateful for it and clarify. I want to talk about this at another time, but I do feel like us as a humanity connecting deeper and more specifically and more confidently with our intuitive selves is the way we negate the fears of an evolving AI society, because a computer will never have that intuitive spark of the heart that we as humans have. But again, that's a podcast for another time. All right. Thank you for listening today. Thank you for being here with me and sharing this time with me. And if you were inspired by this message or have any other perspectives or questions, I would love to hear from you. I'm on all socials at Magnetize Your Light. And if you would like a reading or you're interested in learning how to sharpen your own intuitive skills, you can find me on Magnetize Your Light. I offer a free 30-minute discovery call that we can chat and see where you're at, do a mini reading, and see how I can help you facilitate and empower your own intuitive skills so that you trust and have confidence in your own clarity of universal energetic harmony. That's it. All right. Make magic today. Be open to magic. It's everywhere. Have a beautiful week.